Hey guys, it's Ally the Creator. Welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. Welcome to a base game family home. I believe this turns out to be a starter home also. So here I am just kind of getting the structure of the house. I kind of knew what I wanted it to look like a little bit. I wanted it to be very simple, and obviously since it is a starter home, I was trying to keep a really close eye on how much money I was spending. So I did raise up the home, but I only raised it up one tile, so the Sims can still walk up that. But I thought it adds a little bit of character. And here I am, we're just figuring out the floor plan and adding all the bedrooms. I thought that I wanted to have like a pretty large family home. I considered putting in a dresser that was in the wall for a little while, and I did try to make it work, and then I realized I was doing a base game home. But you'll see as we go through that it does turn out to be a decent sized home to be base game actually. And I did add a covered porch for the front. And I know that I was kind of minimalistic on the windows, but I think that everything kind of comes together in this home. So here we are just figuring out the roofing as we're going through. I thought I wanted it to be like all kind of the same size, but it doesn't really work with this roof. But I tried to make it like it's a little bit darker for the home, but I think that it works. I did add these, what are they called? Like the room divider things. I can never remember what those are called. The like jutting exterior. So anyway, it adds like a little bit of character. So you're not just like having siding all the way around. I think that it looks a little bit better. I chose this dark gray siding. I think this is probably one of my favorite siding materials. I really like it, and I think that it works really well in like any build that I'm doing. So here you can see I'm adding like a little exterior stuff, little character, just so that way the house isn't just one long slab. I did extend the back just a tiny bit because I didn't want to have to readjust the entire roof after I had already done like quite a bit of it. So I believe that's where I added a back door to be able to go outside, because I did kind of think about this as being a family home, which was what I made it. So I wanted to make sure that there was like room to be able to go into the backyard. So here I am just picking out the doors. I had a lot of trouble picking a front door for this build. I just wasn't quite sure what I wanted, and I believe that was the one that I stayed with. I might change it later on because I wasn't quite sure. And so here I am just adding all kind of like doors around the house. I did add one small, oh my gosh, I am at loss for the words. The poles that hold up the roof. I added one of those. I am just not having it. It is early in the morning and I've been up for a few hours already, and it's going to be a long day already, I can tell. But here I am just adding a few more characteristics around the house. I did kind of just add like a few doors around. I added a back door, like I said, and we're just going to be picking out the flooring. I just picked something simple. And I did pick whites for the bathroom because I always try and make my bathroom white. I like having a white bathroom so you can see where the mess is. And I'm picking out the tiles for the bathroom, and then I'm going to be picking out the wallpapers for the bedroom, I believe. I'm pretty sure that I changed those stairs later on. I could be wrong. But I don't know about those. But here I am just picking out like some tones for the house. It does end up being very blue. But I think that it works. I do extend this one bedroom to make it the master bedroom because I didn't realize that it was quite a bit smaller than the other one. So yeah, I just carry this wall over so that it can be a little larger. So this does end up being a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, which is a pretty decent size for a base game house, I think at least. And it is a starter. So we are kind of getting close on money right now. So I am just going into the debug menu to get out a lot of landscaping because that is where I lose most of my money. But I do really like quite a bit of the shrubbery and things that come out of the debug menu, because some of them, they just have like different swatches than what you would find in the regular catalog. So like this really tall bush that I pulled out earlier, I just really like that because it comes in like 3 different colors rather than only being the one that's bright green. I was thinking about placing this hedge and placing it all around the backyard to just kind of frame the yard, but the hedge is just, it was way too busy for me. It was huge and I thought it would just kind of cut off the whole house and look like they're super secluded. So I decided not to pick that. But here I am just picking out a few more flowers, and yeah. I did add some fencing around the backyard. You could see me kind of fiddling with it soon because I wanted to just add like small fencing, but because it overlays for one tile, it did not look very good. So I kind of had to rearrange it all to make it all fit. But in the end, I think it kind of works. It obviously doesn't cover the whole backyard, and your Sims will walk right through it because it is from the debug menu. But I thought it just kind of adds like a little bit of a barrier and kind of separates them from like people who are walking by. Which obviously like they're not going to just walk into your backyard, but I thought that this works a little better. So I'm just picking out, I pulled out a few stones for the backyard. I have done that before where I've pulled out like 1,000 of them and like framed my entire house. I did that like a year ago and I kind of want to recreate that build. I did like this really tiny house with a huge deck around it, and I pulled out stones and there was gardening going all throughout the house, and it was only by like a 20 by 20 lot, I think, or 20 by 30, and it was huge. And I encompassed the entire house with these stones. It took me like probably 2 hours. It was when COVID had first started and I had to be quarantined because somebody at my work had COVID, and I spent probably a whole day building this house. And the detail on it though was beautiful, and I'm pretty sure I still have it up on the gallery. I will try and figure out what the name is of it and put it in the comments or in the suggestion box below, because it is a beautiful house and it turns out so well, but it was a lot of time and work. So I just pulled out a bunch of little things from the debug menu. I pulled out that little flower cart that I just filled up with a few flowers because I thought maybe somebody's into gardening. And I pulled out a step stool for like right underneath it. And here I am just picking a different, I knew I picked a different kind of railing for the staircase. So, and I just kind of framed it, and we're going to start working on the interior of the house. So I added it's a half bath downstairs, so it's only the toilet and a sink in there. And I added a full bath upstairs. This one's kind of for the kids, so it has like the big bathtub in it. And then this one is for the parents, which I believe only has a shower and then a sink and a toilet. I just kind of had to snuggle everything into the bathrooms because they weren't quite the right size to fit, but I am slowly running out of money, so I'm just picking out to make sure that I have enough money to have beds and things in here. So that way I can then redecorate the house after we've got everything kind of in their place. I hate this bug that's going on right now where sometimes your like doors and windows stop working. It's so weird, and it just like, it's very annoying too. I'm just not a fan. I think that it needs to be fixed. But here I am just picking out a stove and a fridge, and I do pull out a sink. This does end up being kind of like a smaller house. I did spend quite a lot of money on just like the house in general. But I do put in a full table and chairs in here so they can have like a family meal if is wanted. And I pull out a high chair. I also I'm not a huge fan of like the bugs with the high chairs where like they just put their kid in and then they pull the kid out and then they put the kid back in and then they pull it out and then they put the food there and they pull the kid out. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But it is a lot easier if like they do have a toddler and like somebody's at home all the time and they're able to feed them, because then you can put the toddler there and they'll just start eating, where you don't have to like put the food on the ground or something for them to eat. So, and then you don't have to like also make a ton of food. So if this is a family of 4 and then the parents are eating and they only make like a family serving instead of a party serving, then obviously they're not going to have like a 5th serving for the child. So it just kind of, I thought realistically it makes sense to have like a toddler seat, and it would probably be a lot easier. But here we are just moving up to the upstairs, and we're working on the kids' room. I did make this kind of like a boys' room. So I thought maybe like they've got 2 child sons and then like a toddler daughter. So we're just kind of furnishing it with like blues and pinks, and I'm just figuring out the parents' bedroom, which I kept kind of in pastels. I made the daughter's bedroom very, very pink, but I think that it kind of turns out adorable. I did add this desk over in the corner. I added like some books on top of it and a stereo, because I just wanted to make sure that like they'd be able to listen to music to relax and they could have some books to read. But here we are just finishing out the backyard. I did change the color of this door to be black just so it kind of matches everything else. And I am adding a garbage can, and I did add that other bin is from the debug menu, and I pulled it out because it's very bright blue, so I thought it's kind of like a recycling bin. It would be really nice if we had like one of those bin game where they could like sort out their recyclables and then put the garbage in like a different bin, especially now that we have the eco lifestyle pack where like that's such a big thing where they're like pay attention to your compostables and your recyclables and all that. So it would make sense if you would be able to sort it out, but that's just me. I pulled out a little empty wheelbarrow from the debug menu also because I thought that was really cute, and like especially if you're imagining one of the parents or like even one of the kids to be like kind of into gardening, then they would need like a wheelbarrow to be like emptying the bushes or something. So I just added a little bit of darker color around the fence, and we are nearing the end of the build. So I really hope that everybody enjoyed, and you will like and subscribe and leave me a comment on anything else that you would want me to do, any other builds, and if you liked this one, if you didn't, let me know. And that's it.